A second powerful earthquake strikes off southern Philippines after first one kills at least 5. Philippine seismologists say that a new offshore earthquake with a preliminary 6.9 magnitude hit the same southern region struck earlier by an earthquake with a magnitude of 7.4. Manila, Philippines and Manila, Philippines. Appeal to powerful offshore earthquakes struck the same region in the southern Philippines hours apart on Friday. The first one, a 7.4 magnitude quake in the morning, killed at least 5 people, set off landslides, damaged hospitals and schools, and prompted evacuations of coastal areas nearby because of a tsunami warning, which was later lifted. The second one had a preliminary 6.9 magnitude. Philippine Institute of Seismology and Volcanology Chief Teresito Bacalcal said that Friday night's earthquake that jolted Manay town in Davao Oriental province was caused by movement in the same fault line, the Philippine Trench, at a depth of 10 kilo. It wasn't immediately clear if it was a separate earthquake or an aftershock of the 7.4 magnitude quake. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., facing his latest natural disaster after a recent deadly quake and back-to-back storms, said the potential damage was being assessed and rescue teams and relief operations were being prepared and would be deployed when it was safe to do so. The first quake was centered at sea about 43 kilometers 27 miles east of Manay town in Davao Oriental province and was caused by movement in the Philippine Trench at a depth of 23 kilometers 14 miles. At least 5 people were killed, including 2 patients who died of heart attacks at a hospital during the first earthquake and a resident who was hit by debris in Mati City in Davao Oriental. Edner Dayang Hirang, Regional Director of the Government's Office of Civil Defense, told the Associated Press. 2 villagers died and several others were rescued with injuries by army troops and civilian volunteers in a landslide set off by the first quake in a remote gold mining village in Pontocan town in Davao Oriental province near Davao Oriental. Dayang Hirang said. Office of Civil Defense Deputy Administrator Bernardo Rafaelito Alejandro IV said that several buildings sustained cracks in their walls, including an international airport in Davao City, but it remained operational without any flights being cancelled. Alejandro said, "Was driving my car when it suddenly swayed, and I saw power lines swaying wildly. People darted out of houses and buildings as the ground shook and electricity came off." June Saavedra, a disaster mitigation officer of Governor Generoso Town in Davao Oriental, told the Associated Press by cell phone. "We've had earthquakes in the past, but this was the strongest," Saavedra said, adding that the intense ground swaying caused cracks in several buildings, including a high school, where about 50 students were brought to a hospital by ambulance after sustaining bruises, fainting, or becoming dizzy. Becca. Governor Generoso is a town about 100 kilometers 62 miles south of Manay, where school classes in all levels were also suspended. Children evacuated schools in Davao City, which has about 5.4 million people and is the biggest city near the epicentre, about 250 kilometers 155 miles west of Davao Oriental province. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in Honolulu said that small waves were detected on the coasts of the Philippines and Indonesia before the threat passed about 2 hours after the first quake. It said that small sea fluctuations may continue. A tsunami warning that set off evacuations in 6 coastal provinces near Davao Oriental was later lifted without any major waves being detected, Chief Government Seismologist Teresito Bacalcal said. Indonesia's Meteorology, Climatology and Geophysics Agency said that small tsunami waves were detected in North Sulawesi province, with heights ranging from 3.5 to 17 centimeters, 1.3 to 6.7 inches, in Malonguane, Bio, Esang and Ganalo in Talo Islands districts. The Philippines is still recovering from a Sept. 30 earthquake with a 6.9 magnitude that left at least 74 people dead and displaced thousands of people in the central province of Cebu, particularly in Bogo City and outlying towns. The archipelago also is lashed by about 20 typhoons and storms each year, making disaster response a major task of the government and volunteer groups. Also Friday, an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 6.0 struck Friday off the coast of Papua New Guinea. The U.S. Geological Survey said that it was centered in the Bismarck Sea for 114 kilometers to 157 miles northeast of Lae, the South Pacific island nation's second most populous city. Thank you so much for watching. See you on my next vlog.